Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Yesterday, November 24th, 2015, the mainstream media, one of its headline stories was the shooting of an unarmed teenager in Chicago by the police department. What's interesting is this story made headline news yesterday, November 24th, 2015, more than a year after the shooting, which took place on October 20th, 2014, just months after the Michael Brown shooting of August 9th in Ferguson, Missouri. If you're new to my channel, I have been showing how each of these mainstream stories involving the shooting of black youth, black adults, often unarmed, have all been purposeful stories with the agenda of further dividing the nation over race. We are living in a moment where the mainstream media is working overtime to provoke people on racial matters. And it is sad to think that they are doing this in the time of the first black president. Let's watch this mainstream media, and then I will show you what information I have decoded from this story. It has a lot of parallels to the Michael Brown shooting, which again happened just 2 months prior. So let's watch the mainstream coverage, then we'll decode the rest. Here we go, Truth Seeker.
The prosecutor put it like this. She said that investigators, both federal and state, went through this video second by second, dissecting exactly what had transpired. Now, they also talked to witnesses to corroborate what they were seeing and also what they were hearing from people on the street. And she put it like this. She took us through it. She said, if you look at this video, you'll see Laquan McDonald walking on the street. 6 seconds after arriving on scene, the police officer who was charged with first-degree murder is seen with his weapon pointing at Laquan McDonald, and he starts shooting. If you take a look at that video closely, you see it. You see him on the left-hand side of the screen, John. Now, after that, the angle of this video changes. We asked the prosecutor why, what happened, and she said that the cruiser that had this dash cam moved. That's why the angle of that camera moved, and you don't see the police officer firing his weapon. You only see Laquan McDonald on the ground. Now, like you mentioned, all of this happened in about 30 seconds. The officer discharging his weapon 16 times. Now, the autopsy report shows that Laquan McDonald was hit 16 times. Now, of course, you mentioned this community has been asking for this video to be released for a year now. We finally get to see the video, and now that this officer is being charged with first-degree murder, his defense attorney saying that this officer that this case must be tried in the courts and not in the media.
There's a lot of questions, Rosa, about the timing of the charges. Why was it that the charges were only announced right before this video was released, the video that was released only because of a judge's orders?
We got to kind of have to take you back and give you the background. Community leaders here have been asking for the release of this video for a very, very long time. State and federal investigators got involved, and they were doing a simultaneous investigation. Now, the U.S. Attorney released a statement today saying that they continue to investigate. Their investigation is active and ongoing. Today, the prosecutor told the media today, she said that the only reason that she released these charges early, even though she had decided to file these charges weeks ago, is because of the release of this video. Now, the release of this video is because a journalist filed a FOIA request and asked for the video to be released. A judge in civil court ordered for this video to be released at the very latest tomorrow, Wednesday. And so because of leaks, we are told, this video was released early, and of course we saw the police superintendent and the mayor here making this announcement, asking for calm, asking for people to exercise their rights, but to keep calm and to protect property here in the city of Chicago.
So there was the mainstream coverage, Truth Seeker. Notice how the video camera shifted when he fell to the ground. There's no audio, you can't hear the shots fired. It's a very suspicious presentation. And that continues an ongoing theme in a lot of this reporting. In the Sandy Bland case, remember how the confrontation goes off camera, and also recall that Sandy Bland was from Chicago, but the incident happened in Texas. As I pointed out in that video, so many of the people related to these stories that caused the racial division are out of Chicago. And what Chicago is in this nation is a Zionist Mecca. And it is the Masonic Zionists who control the media, who control the government, and who wage agenda against the people. So let's go through this, Truth Seeker. There's a reason it is reported that he was shot 16 times. We will get to that. The date this happened was October 20th, 2014. This is a date with 64 numerology. In countless videos on this channel, I have pointed out how in police officer shootings, the numbers 46 and 64 are almost always coded without exception. This comes on a date with 64 numerology in Chicago, a Zionist Mecca. The Zionist state is Israel. Israel has a gematria of 64. Zion has a gematria of 64. Thelema, the occult religion closely associated, has a gematria of 64. It comes on a date with a life lesson number of 37. It should be noted that Chicago has a Pythagorean gematria of 37. And the numbers that stand out the most from this date are the numerology of 44. Again, 44 is the kill number. Kill has a gematria of 44. If you are new to my channel, I have shown how every major political assassination in history is very much connected to the number 44. Martin Luther King Jr. shot on 4/4, April 4th. Malcolm X shot on a date with a life lesson number of 44. His assassin had a 44 name gematria. His assassin also got a 44-year prison sentence. The last president to die in office was JFK, the 44th term president. The first ever president to die in office was William Henry Harrison, who died on April 4th. Julius Caesar in history died in 44 BC. And a whole lot more, Truth Seeker. Abraham Lincoln, all of it, all centered around this number 44. So this story coming on a date with 44 numerology fits the pattern we have seen in so many of these prior killings. Should also be noted that this happened in Chicago, which has a simple English gematria of 46, the reflection is 64, the numbers we often find coded into these shootings. Within all of these racially dividing stories, we find the number 33 placed. In this case, the shooting happened in October, the only month with 33 gematria. Remember, the phrase race war has a gematria of 33. If you missed my videos from August 2014, before they released the name of Darren Wilson, the police officer shooter, I made a video saying that when they release his name, I guarantee the gematria of it will sum to 33. Michael equals 33. Darren equals 33. Michael Brown shot by Darren Wilson. With regards to 16, as in the number of times this boy was supposedly shot, 16 and 90 are the only two numbers when written out that have a gematria of 33. 16 equals 33. With the S exception, it equals 42. And 42 is another number often coded on the killing of blacks. Both Ferguson and Missouri have gematria of 42. In a moment, we'll look at the t-shirt Darren Wilson was wearing that was put out in the media after it was said that he shot Michael Brown. 16 with simple English gematria also sums to 96, like the word Freemason. It is the Freemasons, the Zionists, who do this to us again and again by the numbers. Freemasons believe in conquering through dividing. They say that the boy shot Laquan McDonald was 17 years old. What's interesting about 17 is kill in Pythagorean gematria equals 17. 44 the big way, 17 the small way. The big way and the small way will always have the same numerology. 4 plus 4 is 8, 1 plus 7 is 8 for 44 and 17. The name Laquan McDonald's interesting. Both names have gematria of 66. Remember, when you write out 33 as a word in Summit, it sums to 66. Laquan, McDonald, and Pythagorean gematria sums to 51. Remember, the word conspiracy equals 51. Michael with simple English gematria sums to 51. This was just months after the Michael Brown shooting. The police officer who shot Laquan McDonald supposedly 16 times is named Jason Van Dyke. What I notice about Jason Van Dyke is it's gematria 42, and with the S exception, 51. So his name is a lot like the victim. Jason in simple English gematria sums to 59, which is the kill number in Jewish gematria, a number often stamped on black Americans in a negative way. The name Jason Van Dyke has a simple English gematria of 141. This stands out to me because Thanksgiving equals 141, and this story is released just 2 days before Thanksgiving, November 26th, in the mainstream media. Possible coincidence, or possibly purposeful programming. So what we're looking at here is Darren Wilson. Notice that Darren Wilson has this shirt on with the number 42 and the word blues. What you might not know about blues is its gematria 59. First, notice how the word kill in Jewish gematria is 59 and simple English gematria 44. If you type in blues, it has gematria of 59. So does the word Negro. So does the word slave. And in history, Motown Records came out in the year 59. Understanding the significance of the numbers behind this word, you can see what this shirt really means, Truth Seeker. What this shirt reads is nigger killer. Remember, nigger has the coding of 42. The word breaks down like this. N's the 14th letter, 1 plus 5 becomes 9. I's the 9th letter, G's the 7th, G's the 7th, E's the 5th, R's the 18th letter, 1 plus 8 becomes 9. The word nigger has a gematria of 42, and it has the numbers 59 coded into it twice. This number stamped all over black Americans. As most people know, Jackie Robinson was made to wear number 42, being the first black baseball player in the white major leagues. In the movie made about Jackie Robinson, titled Number 42, the criticism it got was that they used the word nigger too much. In the O.J. Simpson trial, it said that Mark Furman used the word nigger 42 times when talking about black people. That was testimony given in the trial. And what everyone should ask is who was counting? Who was there to tab that he said nigger 42 times? The reason they do this, Truth Seeker, is it's all because it's part of a disgusting, secretive code. Look at stories from recent times. A black man tased 42 times, unnecessarily. They do this again and again, coding these numbers. It is the Masons and the Zionists who are secretly doing it. When they first put up this story yesterday, when it just popped up, I noticed that right away it had a 16 minutes next to it. And then when I clicked on the article, I noticed that it said he was shot 16 times. And I said, here's CNN again with their ticker trying to give clues and the times they put next to their stories. Just recently out of Chicago, Truth Seeker, there was the story of Tyshawn Lee, which was another racially divisive story. Again, they put out these stories for what it does in the minds of different people. There are all sorts of people in this nation who have been trained to hate black people for a variety of reasons, and when they read stories like this, it reinforces their beliefs. They'll say, see, look at those black people killing their own children over some needless gang violence, when in fact this story is probably completely made up and fabricated just to spread misinformation and perception, which is what the media is well invested in. Anyway, the boy's name was Tyshawn Lee. Notice how Tyshawn Lee has the exact same gematria, 42 and 51 the small way, and 132 the big way. We just saw this coding in the name Laquan McDonald. To close, please do not be confused by Mayor Rahm Emanuel. He is a Zionist Masonic agent who is very much invested in the agenda of divide and conquer. This man was born on the date Israel was recognized as a nation. He was born to be. Until next time, Truth Seeker.